Hey everybody. So the other day I was playing through Wukong and here I am, I don't even know how many months later, trying to get past chapter 1 of this game. It's like every boss I come across, I just get my ass handed to me. I got this game because of the hype and all. I was like really excited to play it, but it turns out I suck really bad at Souls-like games.
Harder than you think to be like him.
And sure, the appeal of this game is about the challenge it presents, but I guess it really depends on who you ask, what they consider challenging and what they consider frustrating. So through my plight playing this game, it got me wondering, what is the hardest thing? And no, it's not what you're thinking, you filthy motherfucker. What I meant to say is, what is the hardest thing anyone can possibly do, any one person can do? Now, there's a lot of things that can fit that bill, especially if we're talking about big milestones. There's only so many billionaires in this world, and there's only so many people who've reached 100 million subscribers on YouTube. And there's not many people that can say they've been to space before, or being the Grandmaster in chess. And sure, those are milestones that not everyone can get, but those things aren't really a challenge that tests the human limit. Sure, they are big achievements that not many people can get, but I don't think that's what we're looking for. And one can point to the Olympics. The Olympics has been around for a long time, and it's all about competition. And sure, there's many records that have stood the test of time. For example, Usain Bolt's sub 10-second 100-meter run that hasn't been dethroned in over a decade, and him along with many other athletes have showed us how far we can push ourselves. But that's exactly where I think the Olympics stops. It's about reaching our limit, but not surpassing it. Video games are a unique case. From the beginning, when it was all about arcades, it was all about getting the high score. And I think that lust for challenge has stayed in video games culture up to this day. Wukong may not be the hardest game out there. I mean, for one, you have Nier Automata's really hard mode where you die if you get hit once. And that game sounds like hell if you do it on that difficulty. But what about challenges that go beyond just one game? Like beating all the Souls games in a row without taking any damage. Now, I might be bad at Souls-like games, but I can at least respect that much. That is a huge achievement all on its own. And then we can also take into consideration the speedrunning scene. To this day, people are speedrunning the original Super Mario Bros. Game. In fact, this game has been optimized so much to the point that the current fastest time held by Nifsky is nearly on par with the tool-assisted speedrun, only a few frames away from being a perfect run. It's only a matter of time when the human record is on par with the machines. That being said, I think there might just be one game that sits above the rest in terms of difficulty, and that game, Geometry Dash, or GD's nuts for short. Immediately, it becomes apparent that the hardest thing one person could possibly achieve is getting a level rated by RobTop. I'm only joking, but for real, it's still insanely difficult. GD, I would argue, is the hardest game ever made. Now, that might sound like a bit of a stretch, but let me explain. GD has a long and rich history, most of which this video won't cover. But if you'd like to know more about the evolution of GD difficulty, there are plenty of videos out there that go into much more detail. I'll link one in the description, so if you're interested, go ahead and check it out. Now, the story goes that at the beginning of GD's life, the GD community back then didn't take well to difficult levels because the game was new and people weren't as good as they are today. But it all changed when a level called Demon Park released, and that's where the demon difficulty in fact originates from. Other iconic early demons came out, such as the Lightning Road and the Nightmare, which is in fact my first demon I've ever beaten. And from there on out, the race to push what's physically possible began. Fast forward, we got iconic levels like Ice Carp in Diablo X, Cataclysm, and Bloodbath, arguably the most iconic GD level of all time. The difficulty between each demon became so drastic that now we have different categories within the demon difficulty, with easy demon, medium demon, hard demon, insane demon, and extreme demon. Bloodbath, for example, stood as the hardest level for a very, very long time. And because of all these difficult levels, the community decided to take it upon themselves to create a demon list, ranking the top 150 demons in the game. The difficulty would again be pushed with levels like Phobos, the Coupon Hell, Sonic Wave, Yatagarasu, Erebus, Plasma Pulse Finale, Bloodlust, Crimson Planet, Zodiac, Arteris, The Golden, Firework, Slaughterhouse, the Coupon Circles, Abyss of Darkness, Acheron, and Tidal Wave. There's so many levels that defined this game that I didn't even list them all, but these were some of the most notable top 1 demons that GD has had over the years. Each of them continued to push what we thought was possible, and they all had a unique story to tell, each having more frame perfects than the last. Now, what I didn't mention is that some of these levels were actually hacked. It might be crazy for me to say this, but the only reason the community has been able to increase the difficulty ceiling so much is really because of hackers. Over the years, many players have been exposed for hacking in this game, but surprisingly, that only made people more motivated to beat these hackers. A great example of this rivalry was Riot versus Cyclic. Both were competing for the title of Best Geometry Dash Player, but little did Riot know that Cyclic was actually a hacker all this time. Imagine trying to play a game legitimately and your rival is a hacker. It's actually insane. Now, without this library, yes, I was about to say library. Now, without this rivalry, maybe Riot wouldn't have pushed himself as hard to be the best he can be and become the legendary GD player he's known as today. Now, despite Cyclic being exposed as a hacker, it was thanks to him that this rivalry was so iconic. Another case of this is when the level of Slaughterhouse got verified by Space UK. He was the undisputed top player at the time. Nobody really could come close to him with how fast he could beat levels and in so few attempts. We believed his legitimacy for a long time. So here we have a level that was not beaten legitimately, but unknowingly everybody thought, wow, this level is actually possible now. Once the first victor shows that a level is possible, it suddenly isn't as daunting to beat the level anymore, and a lot of people jump on the train to say they can beat the hardest level in the game. We have plenty of people that actually beat this level legitimately, even though it was verified illegitimately. But thanks to that illegitimate verification, everyone suddenly thought this level was doable. Let's rewind a bit. During Geometry Dash's initial difficulty craze, more and more levels started coming out trying to claim the throne of the hardest level in the game. The only problem was, these levels got so difficult, nobody could keep up. As we know, these levels were not beaten legitimately and were hacked, but of course, that didn't stop people from trying. Alongside this difficulty craze, also sparked an interest towards impossible levels, otherwise known as silent levels in Geometry Dash. I guess there's something intriguing about wondering if these impossible levels might be possible one day. Just because these levels were labeled as impossible levels didn't stop people from trying. Because of course, this is Geometry Dash. I mean, what are you expecting? People are crazy to dump in like 500,000 attempts on a level. One of the most famous silent levels is Silent Club Step. When it first came out, of course, it was a joke level, not meant to be beaten. But 7 years later, after it released, somebody actually beat it. And it wasn't even the hardest level in the game, which is kind of crazy. That's only something that can happen in Geometry Dash, for real. And of course, past Tidal Wave, there are levels that are yet to be beaten. A contender to be the next top one. Despite this game being over a decade old, we're still pushing what's possible. In fact, like, I really don't think there is a limit in this game. It just keeps on getting harder without any end in sight. Every new level comes with more frame perfects than the last, but that doesn't deter people from going at it. I don't think there is a ceiling. Tidal Wave might be the top one now, but as with every top one before it, it will be dethroned eventually. GD, in my opinion, presents the hardest challenges any one person can pursue. This community is crazy. We just never look back. We only look ahead of what can be possible in the near future. Don't think about if they should. They only think about if they could beat a level. It doesn't matter how impossible it may seem, because to them, it's only impossible right now. And the level that started it all, Demon Park, is now just considered an entry-level demon. Ice Carbon Diablo X, which was long considered an entry-level extreme demon, dropped to an insane demon, and there are way more extreme demons that could possibly even fit into the top 150. Where other games or sports are about reaching our limits, Geometry Dash is all about surpassing. Thanks for watching. Let's go.